Welcome to Dulcimoon Talks,
where music, connection, and inspiration meet.
I'm DJ Hamoris.
And I'm Erin May Lewis.
Together, we're your hosts for these beautiful conversations that celebrate the vibrant women of the Dulcimer community.
Since June of 2022, Dulcimoon Talks have brought you into the lives and stories of extraordinary women, leaders, teachers, producers, and artists who are shaping and sharing the art of the dulcimer in unique ways.
Our guests come from all walks of life. Many balance their passion for dulcimers with careers far outside the music world, yet they all share one thing: a deep love for the dulcimer and the joy it brings to teaching, practicing, performing, and creating.
Each episode is an intimate journey exploring personal musical paths, sources of inspiration, and the beautiful ways dulcimers weave into our lives. Think of it as the kind of meaningful conversation you'd have while sharing a meal at a festival. A mix of insight, laughter, and heartfelt connection.
Whether you're a long-time dulcimer enthusiast or just curious about this amazing world, Dulcimoon Talks are here to inspire, inform, and delight.
We release new talks twice monthly and are thrilled to have you on this journey with us. Make sure to subscribe and join the growing community as we honor the magic of dulcimers and the people who make them sing.
Dulcimoon Talks, sharing stories,
celebrating connections,
keeping the music alive.
Today's Dulcimoon Talk is sponsored by Folkcraft, and we want to say a big thank you to Folkcraft for their support of the dulcimer community. To learn more about Folkcraft and the wonderful instruments they make and dulcimer accessories and books they have available, visit www.folkcraft.com. And now, our talk.
Hi, here we are.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm DJ Hamoris, and today we are delighted to have Wendy Songe as our guest. I'm just so glad you were able to make it and that we can do this live on Zoom. This is fantastic.
It is great. Yes, and thank you, Folkcraft. I love Folkcraft. Wow.
Yeah, well,
and I am so excited to be here with Dulcimoon because you and Erin May, gosh, we all go way back, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do. It's true.
It's great to see each other here.
Yeah. We've been trying so hard to make sure that we have found a date, and between your busy schedule and our busy schedules, it's taken a little over a year before we could manage this, but I'm grateful that we're able to do it now. That's fantastic. So you're in Oklahoma, right?
I am an Okie in Muskogee right now.
There's music for everything, isn't there?
I know. Well, I was living on Tulsa time before that, and then, life and... But I'm in Muskogee, Oklahoma now, and that's all right. It's been pretty hot here, pretty warm. It's your typical Oklahoma summer, August right now. It's like 90 something, but the heat index is 100 and something, but the humidity is like 60% something.
Oh, honey. God.
If you want a sauna, you don't have to buy one. You just go outside.
I met great. Margaret, right?
Yes, I love her. She's down in Texas,
right? And she was saying how the old Palestine festival that she runs in Palestine, Texas, she says, we do it about the last weekend that we can be outdoors. And then it's Texas summer. And this is like at the end of March or beginning of April. I'm like,
she's right. She's right.
Yeah.
Here we're all looking forward to autumn. That's our next season. And it feels in the air like it might tease us with a little bit of autumn maybe next week. So that will be great.
It's nice to have those seasonal awarenesses,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When the sun is clearly setting a little bit earlier, but it's still summer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. All these seasons of life, seasons of music, songs written about seasons. I mean,
absolutely.
I love that. Yeah, I do.
It's a perennial subject,
Absolutely.
So you are not just a dulcimer player, you play mountain dulcimer, right?
I do. Yep.
Right.
Well, yes, I play hammer dulcimer too, but that's not what I spend most of my dulcimer time doing. For the most part, I'm a mountain dulcimer player who really wants to be better at her hammer dulcimer too.
But I am assuming, given your background, that mountain dulcimer was not your first instrument.
Oh no, no, actually, my first instrument was the piano,
Mhm.
and I started playing piano at 4.
Wow.
I know, but I begged for a piano. I wanted one so badly. On a piano, on a piano, on a piano. And finally, they figured out what I wanted. A piano. Oh, on a piano. It means I want a piano. So it was old upright. It was kind of honky tonk, per clunky, kind of sounding keys. And um, I think very soon thereafter, my parents were like, "We need to get her some lessons. We've got to." She's gonna play all day. We need it to sound like something. Yeah. So,
Was your family musical?
well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, my grandmother, she grew up during the Great Depression in a children's home and surrounded by other children. And she was such a bright, shiny, sunny, oh, I could cry person. With such a beautiful outlook on life. Just so great. And to talk about what she went through, oh my gosh, she talked about the joy of having all these children and friends around. And every time you were around her, she was singing all these little children's tunes and play yard tunes and things like that. So yeah, I mean, from a very early age, there was music there. My mom, she dabbled in cello, I think maybe in her teen years or something like that. But that didn't carry with her through life. But she will tell and still tell stories about how she always had classical music playing in the nursery when I was a baby, and because that would soothe me to sleep. So I think there's always been a lot of musical support in my family. My sister Tracy is probably the second most musical person I know in my immediate family. She grew up playing the violin and or fiddle, depending upon what she was playing and what she wanted to call it in the moment. But that was her thing. That didn't carry with her either, though I think she still maybe has her violin somewhere. But my dad was in the Marine Corps, so I'm sure there were lots of drill cadences. but I'm the I don't know. I'm the one over here with I don't know. I'm mad. Music addiction disorder. MADD.
Once you find that channel for expression,
Yeah, it's been pretty powerful.
why limit it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, limitations are, about space or money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes time, depending on whether it's your full-time thing or not. For a lot of us, it can't be our full-time thing. Nina Zanetti was just telling me one of the things she does. She's a professor, right? She's about to retire.
Mm-hmm.
When she would get into a funk, she would just pick up a new instrument.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I did that when, we were talking about piano as my first instrument and I started at 4. Well, I was Suzuki trained when we finally found a piano teacher. She was a Suzuki method teacher. And so everything was just taught by ear. I was kind of on this little piano over here, just imitating sounds and playing Beethoven and Mozart and Haydn and Tchaikovsky. By the time I was 5, 6, 7, 8, I was this little junior national champion pianist. But I was playing these big, beautiful classical arrangements, very expressive. But by the time I was a teenager, I wanted to play the things that were on the radio or were the background songs to the movies that we were seeing. And I wasn't a confident sight reader. I could FACE, every good boy does find my way through it, but that's not expressive playing. And I could feel the music. And I was like, sight reading Twinkle Twinkle is not inspiring to me when I can play Tchaikovsky. So as a teenager, I just didn't have the patience and I was a little arrogant about it. And so I gave up on piano. I know. After over 12 years of studying it, maybe one of the biggest arguments I ever had with my mother, to be honest with you.
I'll bet.
And
Yeah.
then not long after that, my uncle, who we didn't get to see very often, he came for a visit and he brought his acoustic guitar with him. And when he got up after a bit and he was going off to, I don't know, restroom or something, I just remember saying, "Hey, can I play your guitar?" And him saying, "Well, do you know how?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, don't break it." And I went, "Okay, that's a yes." And so so there I was. And when he came back in, he goes, "I thought you said you didn't know how to play that." And I said, "I don't." He goes, "Well, what were you just doing?" I said, "The thing you were doing a minute ago."
That's your Suzuki training.
So that's kind of how the mad music addiction disorder
Okay.
got
Okay.
started. But there was more to that. I was also in dance from a very young age. I think around the same time I started playing piano, I was in tap, jazz, and ballet. Now I'm like 4 or 5 years old, but I still think that just really ingrained a sense of rhythm. When you are moving your body to a beat from such a young age, and you're just doing it with by imitation or by listening or by paying attention, and it's not like you're reading something on a piece of paper and doing what you're told. You're doing what you feel, and that for me, again, could cry. I told you I'm mad. Music addiction disorder does this to me. It makes me really excited about music. It's such a
Right.
huge part of my life.
Well, there's also this
Yeah.
element when it comes to dance and rhythm and music.
Oh
There's
yeah,
this element of
absolutely.
entrainment. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's a scientific thing.
Sure.
When,
Yeah.
when you're in a room full of clocks that are ticking, eventually they entrain themselves to each other. And
That's funny that you mentioned that.
it's
Yes, you're
weird.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But humans do that too. We like to be entrained with one another. So in a dance troupe
Right.
or in a
Mm-hmm.
band or in a drum circle or
Or a
a jam
choir.
session or a choir,
Yeah.
be in sync with one another is to become
Yeah.
scientifically and physically,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's physics to become
It is.
entrained to
Mm-hmm.
with each other. So you're very sensitive to that is what I
Yeah,
feel.
definitely. I've
Mhm,
always loved to be around that. And then
mhm.
especially when you find other people that share that, it's just magnetic. I love that about our Dulcimer community too. How
Mhm.
the instrument just draws people in from all different places and all different backgrounds and with all different experiences to bring with them, whether that's musical experience or not. It could be
Right,
dance experience, and then they come to a dulcimer later in life, and that entrainment for rhythm comes into
mhm,
their strum or into their
right.
fretting hand, and they're sliding around here because they were a ballerina and they want to be graceful, or whatever it is. But it's just, I think that's so great. Yeah.
I love watching a graceful hand. I got an opportunity to participate in my first contest
Hey,
at the Dulcimer
congratulations.
Jamboree this year,
That's right. You
and
did
one of
very
the
well too, from what I
uh,
heard.
I was astonished to have been one of the finalists and then placing third. But what I was watching was people's hands, and there's a young woman, Maisie Harper, who she
Yeah.
works at the Dulcimer
At
shop,
the Dulcimer shop. Yeah.
right? And every time I would watch her, her fingers were so elegant and
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. I was just entranced.
Yeah. I
It's
love how we all do have our own individual touch. It's such a delicate and personal thing. It is such a fingerprint.
mm-hmm,
We all have a fingerprint.
mm-hmm.
And whatever that is, it's like, well, this is my fingerprint and it just happens to be mine.
Yeah.
I didn't make that fingerprint there, you know. And we all do have our own touch. Now, sometimes it takes time to develop it, just like as we grow, our fingerprints grow with us.
Yeah. Well,
But,
it's growing your relationship with the instrument,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the attention to the instrument changes over time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, and I have had this proven to me time and time again, regardless of the instrument, music is an incredibly patient and kind friend.
Hmm.
Yep.
There's a quote.
It'll wait for you. It will.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't hold a grudge. It doesn't say, "Well, you haven't practiced me in 3 months. Who are you? You can't play
Mhm.
me."
Yeah.
That's not going to happen, you know. Oh, I love that about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you were with some guitar, dealing with your parents, your mother's wrath at turning your back on piano.
Well, not too wrathful. Just, you know, she didn't want me to make the biggest mistake of my life.
Right.
Which
right.
is to say that I didn't make a huge mistake by quitting piano. I should have stuck with it. But I was on target to become, you know, like this classical pianist.
Mm-hmm.
And I love classical music. But I didn't want to have to continue practicing 4 or 5 hours of sonatas and stuff every day.
Oh, yeah.
I was tired.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to slumber parties and have friends. Roller skating. You know, I was
hormones hit us all.
But you know, they saw the potential, they saw the talent, and that was really what the argument was about, was don't stop. You've come so far. You're like, you're right there. You don't know what you're about to give up. And they were right on that end. But also, you know, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to go further with it. And it did open the door to so many other things. It did open a door to guitar, which I asked for guitar lessons for, and the first response was no. You just quit piano. Go figure it out yourself. So I tried, and I got far enough along to where the church folk group, which provided all of the music for the Saturday evening church service, allowed me to join them. And so I would stand in the back of our rehearsals on, you know, Wednesday nights or whatnot, and watch all of these other people play the chords and whatnot, and join in. And they were a patient group to allow this teenage kid to come in there and do that. But then that was 14 years of my life, was leading worship music with my guitar, and then that turned into mandolin, and then, you know, things. But anyway, it was a lot later in life that I discovered a mountain dulcimer.
So how did that happen?
I was at Silver Dollar City. I think it's like a million people will tell you the same story. I was at Silver Dollar City and I saw a dulcimer for the first time. But
where is Silver Dollar City?
So Silver Dollar City is a kind of a pioneer styled amusement park in Branson, Missouri.
Ah, okay, got it.
And they have roller coasters and, you know, funnel cake and all the things you would find at, you know, Worlds of Fun or Six Flags or Disneyland, or, you know, they've got rides you can ride and all kinds of things. They've got shows. They've got a huge stage. There's a cave you can go down, like a real cave, like not man-made, real natural cave, like underground, that you can go down in and explore, stalagmites and stalactites. But up on the surface, it's kind of an old-timey village where they have steel workers making things with steel. They have a lady that's making taffy. You know, they've got people whittling wood into spoons. Just all making kettle corn. I mean, the best kettle corn. Oh, it's so good. But anyway, it's great, you know, and they have all these, they're demonstrations of how life was in earlier times. And anyway, so we were at the park enjoying the day, and then it started pouring down rain, and so we started to leave. And as we were leaving, I heard this music that was hypnotizing. I didn't know where it was coming from, but it was like it was live somewhere. And so just started walking towards the sound. And I found what I can only describe as a perfect little postcard. There was this little old lady, you know, maybe 90 pounds, sopping wet, in a rocking chair with a little white bun on her head. And she's just sitting there playing the sweetest little music on this thing. And I just stood there and listened to her. And when she was done, she looked up at me and she goes, "Well, hi." And I said, "Hi, that was beautiful. What is that?" She goes, "Oh, it's a mountain dulcimer. Do you want to play it?" And she literally handed it to me. And I was like, I just watched her do it. So it's kind of like strumming a guitar and fretting a guitar-ish, but it's turned around the other way. But it's missing some frets. I don't know what that's about. So I just noodled for a minute, and I ended up finding old Joe Clark, and I don't know what else. Willem cabbages. I have no idea. I don't remember. But anyway, when I was done, I handed it back to her and she goes, well, I thought you said you didn't know how to play. I said, I don't. She goes, well, you're a natural. You need to get a dulcimer. I said, oh, yeah. Okay, a dulcimer. She said, yes, a mountain dulcimer. So she told me more. And I said, well, you know, I thanked her for letting me play it and everything. And so then I'm getting ready to leave, heading further towards the exit. And then there's a kiosk for a dulcimer company. And I went, oh, it was the setup. That was totally what that was. That cute little lady up there was just trying to sell me a very expensive souvenir. That's what I thought at the time, because I was like, I don't know. There's no way. I'm not falling for it. So I went home. And for weeks, I couldn't stop thinking about that dulcimer. I just couldn't stop. And so I got on the internet and I looked up that dulcimer company that was up there, and it turns out they also made cardboard mountain dulcimers. The body is cardboard, the fretboard is wood, and it was like $39.95 or something like that, and it included shipping. And I was like, sign me up. That's what I'm gonna do. It's just for fun. So I bought a cardboard dulcimer, and it arrived, and a cardboard box arrived to my house, and you open it up, and inside of it is a cardboard box that has strings on it. So anyway, so I have this thing, and I've had it for maybe not even a week. And now I'm like, now that I have it and I can't put it down, and my laundry's behind, my dishes are behind, and my kids are like, Mom, can we have something that's not fast food for dinner? You know, I decided I need to see if there's other people in town that play this. This is really cool. And so I did a quick search and found out that there was a dulcimer club in town that met once a month. It just happened to be coming up, their next meeting 2 days from then. And so I just showed up at their meeting 2 days from then with my little cardboard box. And it was at that meeting that I found out that 2 weeks again, there would be a Dulcimer festival down in Bennington, Oklahoma, which is about a 3.5, 4 hour drive for me. And that it was a free festival and you could camp in your tent. And there were going to be dulcimer workshops for people to teach you how to play this instrument, and it didn't cost anything. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do.
There you go.
And that is literally how I got started on a dulcimer. I went down there to Winter Creek Reunion in Bennington and Bing Fetch, and was one of my very first instructors. How lucky is that?
That's fantastic.
But then I also got to meet Margaret Wright and Annette Lindsay and all of these incredible women who still are a huge part of my dulcimer journey to this day. I'll be seeing them again in October when I'm teaching at Winter Creek Reunion this year. Mm-hmm. So it's just this awesome circle. Love it.
Tell me a kernel that you got from that first weekend on playing, or the music that you were studying, one kernel that you have retained.
Well, gosh, I think that first weekend was the first time I ever heard the song The South Wind. I had never heard that tune before, and it stole my heart immediately. And so it became one of the first, if not the first, complete song that I ever taught myself on the mountain dulcimer. And so now that song is what I call my song in your pocket. And I tell all of my students, you need to have at least one and hopefully 2 or 3 songs in your pocket. And a song in your pocket is a song that you love so much that every time you sit down at your instrument, you want to play that song. And so you do. And it's by continuing to play things over and over again and building that into us that we develop a relationship with it, and that we continue to finesse this thing and it grows with us. And so it becomes a great warm-up piece. It becomes a great like on-the-fly performance piece. But more than that, it's just like a part of our it's part of our breathing. It becomes part of us. And so anyway, Southwind is a song in my pocket, and I have taken the stage with that song as my first song, knowing full well I am so nervous to go there and perform right now. I'm gonna go play the one song that hopefully will come out no matter what. Da, 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 you know? So yeah, that was the first time I ever heard the Southwind, and that's still a song in my pocket. So, but there were so many other takeaways from that festival. That was the first year for me to attend that festival, and so everyone that was there was new to me. I got to meet incredible people that to this day are still dear, dear friends. One of those people is Deborah Porter, and she was in concert on the Saturday or Friday night. I don't remember which one, but in the evening concert. So this is an outdoor festival, and the concert is kind of like inside underneath the hayloft barn, and you're sitting out in your lawn chair under the stars. And she was up there with her dulcimer and her ukulele, and she was singing a song called At the Bake Sale that she wrote. And I was just like, wow. And she's a dear friend of mine now. We've done so many musical projects together. But that was just it. That was my hook, line, and sinker moment, I think, was that first Dulcimer Festival when I found community.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know how often we hear this? We hear this so much. The Dulcimer community is so welcoming and also encouraging.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And supportive and diverse.
Yes.
And gosh, growing and constantly changing. We are just, we are a subsection of a larger society, but the dulcimer community is that. It's not just one thing. It's so many different styles of music. It's so many different interesting people. It's so many really cool background stories. I mean, gosh, how many Dulcimoons do we have now? And all of these interesting stories, and the stories aren't over. There'll be another part of that story that happens later on today, and I don't even know what that story says yet, Hopefully. I mean, I could go at any minute, but we all could.
Well, there's two things I really want to catch on before we, have to part ways. One of them is about teaching, and the other is about the contests that you've chosen to enter into some contests and had various experiences with that. So those are the two things I'm most interested. Do the contests come before the teaching, or does the teaching come before the contest, or are they part of the same thing?
Well, for me, because dulcimer is honestly one of the newer instruments in my life, I had already been teaching piano and guitar prior to even discovering the mountain dulcimer. I had also spent time teaching English as a second language in the public school system. And I just come from a family of teachers. I'm a big sister, so I grew up teaching alphabet letters and numbers to my little sister. I think the teaching probably came alongside music for me, and I think having had great music teachers has helped me be a better teacher. But the contest, though, it's funny. It happened because at my first dulcimer contest happened because I was at a dulcimer festival learning. I wasn't teaching. I was at a dulcimer festival learning. And I was very new to the instrument, and I was asked to compete in the contest. And I said, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. What are you doing? Oh, it's $10 and it's just for fun, and we need as many people to enter as we can. And it's part of the festival experience. And I'm like, it's my second festival, literally. And so the first one was Winter Creek Reunion, and my second one was the Jamboree in Mountain View, Arkansas, where the Dulcimer shop is located. So anyway, so I entered a contest. I didn't think I was going to win. Third place. What?
Welcome to my world. Yeah.
But then comes the, hugs and the accolades and the support and the, oh, good job. And that was so encouraging to me, to meet all of these people through that, even that little intimate experience backstage, warming up and practicing and we were going to play. And, so it was part of my growth. It was never really my intent to go compete and win things. I spent most of my childhood competing in piano, and that was a big part of why I stopped playing piano.
Yeah.
And I don't dislike competition. I think on some level, a lot of us are very competitive just by nature. But for myself, I am more, I like to be a parallel with folks. I like to play alongside you, with you, uh, I don't want to have to compete. And it's not because I'm afraid I'll lose or I'm afraid I'll win. It's just like, it's all so different. How do you judge that?
Right. Right.
And then when is it, when is it enough? When is it good enough? It took me a long time to come to terms with those things. Now, I mean, actually, just yesterday morning, I was here at our local veterans hospital. They had reached out to me because of a lot of things. But anyway, they had asked me to come judge the National Veterans Arts Competition.
Oh my
And so I
goodness.
was judging all of our military veterans have a national arts competition. There's music, there's poetry, there's art like paintings and all kinds of so many different mediums of art, beadwork, Native American beadwork. It was just incredible the things that I got to see yesterday. And so now I'm judging a lot of things coming from a competition perspective, judging has given me a whole different perspective that I
Yeah.
didn't have as just a competitor. Because it's made me realize really what judges are looking for, maybe in some ways, but also how much it doesn't define you as a person and how much it is a stepping stone for growth and for embracing more community. So even though, I don't love competing sometimes because it is very stressful. It can be so stressful.
Mhm.
It is an incredible experience, and I wouldn't not do it. I wouldn't go back and change a thing. Um, I did eventually win the National Mountain Dulcimer contest in 2018.
Mhm.
I won third and second and all the things before I ever made it to first, and uh, that was such a relief. Just oh, I did it. Cool. But I don't feel like it wasn't necessarily a stopping place or a plateau for me. It was another pebble in the walkway. It's definitely helped propel me like inspirationally. It helped me with discipline in my practice leading up to that, helped me to develop a routine.
Mhm.
And then it just helped me be a little more honest with myself about, well, what really matters and what makes you a musician, and what does a score mean, what does a title mean, what do any of those things really mean? Is it all that important, or is it fun, or what is it? Those are things that everyone just has to ask themselves. I don't even know that there's one answer for any one of those things, but it is different probably from person to person, but I had to figure that out for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that
Absolutely.
also helped me just come to terms with so many things from my childhood, and all that like nerves from all that anxious competition as a little kid, and now it's like, all right, fine. Turn on the mic. It's fine. Worst thing that could happen is I mess up.
Right. Right.
Which I've done so many
And
times now. It's like, oh, yeah, I do that all the time. It's fine. Get used to it.
I've come to understand that it's really
Yeah.
true what my friends who have won the championships in various ways say, there's no such thing as a perfect performance. What
No,
there is a performance that touches you, a
sure.
performance that you enjoy the music, something where there's a connection. And for me, performing is all about connection.
Yeah,
Something
absolutely.
else happens to me
Mm-hmm.
as a musician when I become the performer.
Yeah.
And the audience, I've always said this, the audience is the missing member of the band.
Mm-hmm. We are in
Um,
conversation with them, when we're performing, you know, we're we're sharing a little something with them and they're sharing a lot with us. Whether that's through you see the foot bobbing up and down or the head bobbing or you see cameras come out or you see people recording, but you hear them join in song. You hear them joining and singing with you. Oh my gosh, I love that. And it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with everyone in that room
that's right.
was compelled to participate. I love that. And the Dulcimer does just have a wonderful way of bringing us together. Like all of these incredible women that, we're getting to know here even better through Dulcimoon and through some of these activities and festivals and you know, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's great.
So What does a typical week look like for you, Wendy? A work week in music?
Oy. Well, right now, a typical work week for me looks like somewhere between 40 to 60 private students
Woo.
on 4 different instruments. I teach full time here in Muskogee and then also in Tahlequah, Oklahoma for a music school.
Mhm.
And I teach piano, guitar, ukulele, and mountain dulcimer. 30-minute sessions, revolving door of private students every day,
Mm.
all ages. I mean, from 5 all the way up to in your 80s, 90s. There's no limit. Um, then, in addition to that, I'm pretty involved in the Arts Guild here in town. Yesterday morning, as I said, I was at the Veterans Hospital working with their music therapist. And gosh, I am preparing for some upcoming festivals. This week I'll be printing off materials to share at Jana J's Fiddle Camp. Jana J is the fiddler with the blue fiddle from Hee Haw,
Mhm.
the television show. So yeah, she's an Okie and she's out in Grove and she runs an incredible fiddle camp, but it's not just fiddle, it's all kinds of instruments. She and I, like you and I, have been trying to get our schedules to align for a long time. And this is the first year that my schedule and her schedule allowed for me to get to come out there and teach mountain dulcimer. So I'll be teaching mountain dulcimer classes for the first time at this festival, and I'll be taking a bunch of cardboard dulcimers. Yes, cardboard.
Yes.
Folkcraft has cardboard dulcimers. And
Yes.
so
That's what I
Folkcraft
use.
Instruments, who's our sponsor today, and so I have about 5 cardboard dulcimers that travel around with me in different places when I need to share that instrument with folks. So I have something for them to play. So people that are taking the fiddle classes and other classes will be coming into my room and getting to experience dulcimer for the first time, and hopefully I'll continue to grow our community. Yeah. And gosh, beyond that, I'm getting ready for the walk to end Alzheimer's. So I'll be not walking it. My brain injury doesn't let me do that in the heat and for as long as it is, but I will be providing music at the finish line. So that's what I can do. Yeah, I spend a lot of time with my folks. My dad's actually fighting Alzheimer's right now.
Mm.
So my mom's his primary caretaker. So, us girls, she needs a lot of support too. So
Yeah.
I try to get to Tulsa as often as I can to go see my kids and my granddaughter. Yeah, she's old enough to talk now, so my granny name is Birdie.
Bernie.
Birdie. Like
Birdie.
tweet tweet.
I love
Birdie. Birdie, I'm her birdie. Yeah, so I'm fine. I hope it sticks. I hope it lasts forever. Um, yeah, little songbird. So, and she loves music. Oh my gosh. I'm not saying that just because I'm her grandma. She really does. She bobs her head to it. She's trying to sing along. It's incredible that she's just drawn to it. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying you all the things. As soon as Gran gets another $5, you're getting an ukulele. You know? No, I can't do that, but it's fun to think about. So yeah, that's what most of my week looks like right now. Preparing for upcoming festivals. We've got lots of online festivals. The North Georgia Foothills Dulcimer Association Festival will be coming up in the autumn, so I'll be teaching that one online. We've got another virtual Dulcimer Festival through Quarantune's Dulcimer Festival, which is coming up in October.
That's
So
great.
I've got 5 brand new classes that I'm teaching for that I've never taught before. So that'll be fun.
That's great.
And then, of course, I'll be teaching at Winter Creek Reunion, which was my very first festival. And this is the last year that it is a festival. Yeah, I know. It's retiring as a festival. I know. So I'm excited to get to be there for the last year as a festival. After that, it'll continue to be a camp and jam. But yeah, it's hard. That's hard to
Yeah.
see. But anyway.
Things have a certain life as far as events like that. I've always been a fan of allowing things their
Mhm.
appropriate lifespan and celebrating
Lifespan is a big part of it,
yeah.
honestly. It's one of the reasons, why what Deborah Porter is doing with her Dulcimers for David project and getting dulcimers into the hands of kids is so important. The programs that Erin May and I both run, separately with her kids' programs and my kids' programs, getting kids into music, but specifically into mountain dulcimer. It is so important because we do have festivals that have just been going on for decades and decades and decades, but, there comes a time. There comes a time in everyone's life when our health has to come first, or for whatever reason we have to step back, and so it's always hard to see. But one of the things I've learned about this dulcimer community is that those things don't stop us from being in community with one another. They just stop us from going and hanging out together in that particular place on that particular date every year.
Right.
So yeah, this is lasting. I love that. Thanks for helping foster it too, and for inviting me today. It's so good to be here. Yeah,
I'm so glad you were able to join us today.
Oh,
And
thank you.
is there, let's see, we've got your website on the, it's just wendysonge.com, right?
Yeah, I'm the only
Yeah.
real Wendy Songe in the whole wide world. I know.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's SONGE, for those who may not, you can just say Wendy Song, but there's an E at the end of it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's my dad's fault. It's French. It's from the French verb songer.
Songe.
Songer. Yeah. They dropped the R when they immigrated here. Yeah. My
I see.
grandfather.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know I'll be seeing you at Quarantine this year.
Yeah, you'll see me on the computer.
Yeah.
You'll see me right
So
here.
any of our listeners, virtualdulcimerfest.com, no doubt my dear friend Erin May, who's tracking all the stuff going on in the background, she'll put that in there. It's a really great way to not only take lessons for practically a song, but also the concerts give you an opportunity to witness the creativity of over 60 teachers over the course of 5 concerts. So it's really one of the great ways. I love putting together my 2 song sets so that I can make sure that I provide as much for that 5th member of the band, the audience.
It is so cool. We talk about like who was your inspiration, da, 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 my growing up with the mountain dulcimer happened before things were virtual.
Right.
And so it was only festivals that I could physically get to. And that meant having time off work and who takes care of the kids and the dog and the house and how can I afford it, all of those things. And so, the online stuff has made that feasible for folks that wouldn't otherwise have been able to get out.
Right.
And go to all of those things. And so the festivals, being that you can explore so many different teachers and instruments, through the festivals, it's just incredible. It's incredible. If my list of women that inspire me on the dulcimer, it's just grown every time that I go to another virtual festival, by leaps and bounds, because I get to see these people who are even on the other side of the planet, literally, and I'm like, wow, I hope I get to meet you someday. I don't know what the chances of that are, but that was so inspiring, and it's not a pre-recorded thing that's just sitting out there. It's very interactive.
Very much so. Yeah.
It's very interactive, and you're talking to each other just like we are right now. So I love that.
Yes, that's one of the things I love about it. Well, again, my thanks for connecting with us today, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what Erin is popping on here. We have the Dulcimoon is doing a fundraising campaign, and we've got 2 weeks left until the 1st of September, and we've been really excited at the amount of participation. We're at over 3,000 of our 5,000 goal, and I'm really excited about that. So yes, we have to post that up again so everyone will see it. And so we'll be in touch again, and thanks so much, Wendy. Take care of yourself.
It's been a real pleasure. Thanks again for having me here. I hope we get to do it again sometime soon.
I hope so too. All right. Take care. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye-bye.